Today's movie is Kick-Ass. It's directed by Matthew Vaughn and got a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. Using his love for comics as an inspiration, teenager Dave Lazowski decides to reinvent himself as a superhero. Despite a complete lack of special powers, Dave dons a costume, dubs himself Kick-Ass, and gets to work fighting crime. He joins forces with the father-daughter vigilante team of Big Daddy and Hit Girl. Then best friends with another fledgling crime fighter called Red Mist. But a scheming mobster soon puts their alliance to the test.
We're going to be talking all about the plot, our favorite characters, our least favorite characters, the action scenes, and the acting. What did you think of their portrayal of New York City? Because I thought it was rather crime-ridden, and there's lots of crime. And when the Red Mist car was driving through, the city, and when Kick-Ass, not the impersonator, but the guy who was going to a party.
That was unfortunate.
Yeah. Everyone in the city was like cheering him on, giving Kick-Ass impersonator high fives. And when the car was driving around, everyone was like taking pictures and stuff, and they're all just in the streets, and they're all just really happy to see these superheroes. And how realistic do you think that is?
Not very realistic.
No?
I don't think so.
Why not?
I mean, number one, I don't think the superhero would be walking the streets during the daytime and high-fiving people.
Right.
Number two, like you said, well, we saw in the movie, like, one scene, crime everywhere. Next scene, everyone's happy, no crime. Like, I don't know. I think you gotta stick more to a certain vibe in the city.
Right.
Somewhere in between.
So you think it was continuity error, or maybe he was just in a bad neighborhood sometimes, and sometimes he was in the good neighborhood? Because I thought
that could be.
Because when Kick-Ass was mugged, he was in a weird parking lot in back alley somewhere.
Yeah, and on more of a public street when he was getting the high fives.
Exactly, and that area seemed to be very. Like, those two guys just patrolled that area.
Yeah.
Those two bad guys.
They owned the block.
That was their robbing area. Later, they were just robbing a car. In the same spot.
Yeah. Yeah, they...
And then he tries to stop him, and he gets stabbed. And I was shocked by that. I didn't think he was going to get stabbed.
And then hit by the car. That was the real surprise.
That was the kicker of it.
Stab? Alright, what are you going to do now? Get out of the costume first, or just go to the hospital? And then the car comes.
Just rails him, and then boom, passed out, cuts, and there he is. And the amount of metal they put in him, ridiculous.
But bro, like, realistically, that's going to be like a 5-year journey back to actually walking and stuff again. With that much metal. Like, I've got a tiny bit in my elbow, and it's going to be a long time before I'm using it.
Right. That's fair point. It would have taken longer.
That guy's good.
Maybe he is a superhero. Maybe.
Well, I mean, the lack of feeling is the most superhero-like feature he's got.
Yeah. What he said. He's like, the only thing that puts me above other people is that I have a slightly elevated ability to take a beating. That was his superpower.
It's very accurate.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
And that was a funny line. That was probably my favorite line in the movie.
The whole movie?
Yeah.
That was a good line.
Who was your favorite character or least favorite character?
I don't know. I really liked Hit Girl and her dad.
Right.
Big Daddy or whatever.
Out of those two, did you like one more than the other? Or
I mean, Hit Girl was sick, but the daddy just had this way about him. He was just so calm, yet we knew he was not sane. There's no way that guy was sane.
Yeah,
just walking around, guns everywhere.
Interesting character for sure.
I liked him.
The only thing is that they're rather one-dimensional characters.
Most of the characters were.
And they just had the one thing. Big Daddy, all he wanted to do was kill Frank.
And we didn't get quite enough a reason or context why that was his life goal.
Well, it was in the story. He was framed, and that's pretty bad. I think that's a very major thing.
I mean, not often does someone get framed and turn around and want to kill that person. It seems a bit extreme, but I guess it's a reason.
True. I mean, in Andor, I was watching the latest episode, he gets framed at the end of it, and it is rather heart-wrenching because nothing bad happened or they didn't do anything, and he gets sentenced to 5 years or 6 years, and it's awful. You just imagine being in his shoes, and there's nothing you can do. You're just hopeless, fighting the justice system that is, putting you away, and there's nothing you can do. And hopelessness is really what there is, and it's just terrible. It's just awful.
Yeah.
It's a terrible feeling to even think for a moment you would be in that scenario. So I'm very compassionate for anyone who's put away, wrongly accused.
I mean, it happens, but
Yeah, and
what can you do?
what can you do? Just have a better justice system, but at the end of the day, people are going to lie, and wrong people are going to get convicted, and
Yeah.
it's just an awful thing to happen to someone. Wouldn't want that to happen to me, or anyone I know. Aaron Johnson, the actor for Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
He wasn't ugly enough to be the guy who's not getting the ladies. I think he was an attractive guy,
And I think they tried to make up for it by making him awkward and weird, like around the lockers there, that
Right.
one scene.
and giving him glasses,
The glasses weren't even bad. It was his style. The curly hair, the glasses, he looked good.
Right.
Yeah.
So you like the glasses?
I think
But my glasses.
you and his round glasses suited him.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, I think it's good.
Yeah. Well, confidence is a big part of how people
Definitely.
are perceived.
Yeah.
And him being very, just incompetent. He just seemed like the least confident person in the world.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and how does he then think that he can go be a hero? And then once he puts that on, he changed how he behaved completely, and it just gave him so much confidence. And I think it was good for him. It was good character
Definitely.
development in that way.
Like his dad said, he's like a totally different person.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Him coming in the room, he's like, "You're a totally different person now, and this is great."
Yeah.
And we don't really see the effect of him being a superhero on his father, because he didn't know. And when he was watching the broadcast of him getting beaten up, he was just sitting there
with
emotionless.
a smile on his face.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is
And-
cool.
And just not knowing that's his son getting wailed on.
That was a weird part. I was like, oh yeah, he still doesn't know.
Kind of shocking there,
Yeah.
definitely.
And how so many people were dying to see these two people get killed. Like, I would have expected some more hesitance when they were watching. I guess the one girl was crying, but...
Yeah, well, because she was the only one who knew. And
I mean... No, I'm talking about the other girl. With the two other guys in the cafe. They're watching on the laptop.
Yeah.
They have no idea it's him, do they?
No, they didn't. And
Like,
they're just watching.
Like, that's
And-
an expected reaction.
Yeah, and everyone just watching paralleled what Kick-Ass was saying in the start of the movie. Is that, what are you going to do when you see someone getting beaten up? Are you just going to watch? And that just showed the whole city that all they're going to do is just watch.
Okay, you can argue that point, but also what are they supposed to do? They don't know where
I
this
knew
is.
you were going to say that. What are they supposed to do? They could try anything
Like,
to find it. Make sure the cops are informed. Maybe if you recognize the area in something, I don't know. Just try anything.
but the average person, what are they gonna do to help these two guys?
The average person is capable than a lot more, as Kick-Ass showed us, is that you're capable of a lot more things
I
than
guess.
you may think. And you could have, anyone could have found something out, done something. I don't know.
That's
Anything.
true. We could always do more.
You can always do more, and that's one of life's things, is you do more, become a better person, and
Yeah.
I think it's good to make yourself a better person.
For sure.
So, when Hit Girl
Yeah.
was, taking out all these people, it's like, wow, this 10-year-old girl is taking out everyone,
Yeah.
and they are just incompetent fighters.
I don't know if they're incompetent fighters, but we saw how in-depth her training had been. Her dad, the first
shot her.
scene we see, her dad shoots her 3 times.
Did you think
like,
she died at first?
Yeah. No.
No?
I knew she was wearing a vest.
I'd seen that scene on a TikTok before, so
Oh, had you?
I knew she was alive, but...
No, just the way she was like, will it hurt? And he's like, no, it'll just knock you off your feet. I say, alright, it's a vest.
Oh, it's okay then.
Yeah,
just
but
go ahead,
still.
shoot me.
Gee.
Like, what if you miss? Hit an arm?
I mean, he was pretty
Pretty skilled.
pretty adept with his
That's
weapons
true.
skills.
That's true. Oh, the racks of guns just
That was
Everywhere.
A sick room.
everywhere, and the bazooka that he grabs.
Yeah, that was a pretty good scene.
The one bodyguard and comes back. The bazooka just gets handed around, you know. So the bodyguard takes it, then he comes out to use it, and then I guess when Kick-Ass is flying with the miniguns, which if you think about the physics of it, the recoil from those would have launched him backwards.
But I mean, he's got rockets, so the counter rockets, it's possible.
It's possible, yeah. I
But
guess
also,
there was...
you're shooting a bazooka. If you hit the thing itself, it's gonna blow up.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what I was saying. The bazooka was unharmed,
Yeah,
but there was so many bullets going in there.
I know.
And then he went and grabbed the bazooka.
Yeah, and even just dropping the bazooka, something's gonna go wrong. I think it's gonna bend. It's not gonna work right.
But then he brought it in, boom, shot him. And then when he shot him, it didn't explode.
Nothing happens.
It carries him for a bit and then explodes.
It's like a rocket propelled, like a timing grenade or something, so it won't blow up ever until a certain time. It was weird.
But I did think it was just a regular bazooka.
No, it was. Yeah, it was a
They
pretty
should have
funny
all
scene.
died.
Yeah, multiple times.
Just gets carried over. And in a way, this movie was just McLovin's, character, whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah.
Red Mist.
Yeah.
His origin story of becoming a bad guy.
I mean, I don't really want to view it as that, but yes, it's just a huge build up.
Yeah. And to the Kick-Ass 2, which on Rotten Tomatoes didn't get too good a rating. So,
yeah.
As second movies often are, the worst out of trilogies. So,
Do you think you'd watch the second one?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think
There's enough
that
movies.
they, took a downturn. Oftentimes people don't know what they did right in their movie and why people like it. And that's the issue with second movies.
Interesting.
Is that you don't know what to change because you want to change something,
Yeah.
but they often end up changing the wrong thing or just getting rid of everything everyone liked. And
So you're saying you'd be better off just making like a super similar sequel, just with a different plot.
yeah, I mean, if you look at Star Wars, they blow up the Death Star twice. It's the same plot of them, going to
That is
destroy
true.
it.
Yeah.
And so, in a way, and everyone likes Star Wars, so
Yeah.
I think, yeah,
Hmm.
it's a good thing to make something similar, but
If it works, why change it?
yeah, I mean, knowing what works also is the key. Knowing what you can change,
So you think they lucked out with the first one?
I think they had some good writing. And oftentimes with the second one, they get complacent. They think, oh, we have the easy, surefire thing. We don't need to try. Or they're rushed for a deadline to get it out while people are still thinking of the first one. There's just so many reasons why second movies aren't as good.
Yeah.
Except for in a few cases, like Star Wars, Godfather, where the second movie is better. But that's when the first one was good, but they knew they had more potential, and they went for it. And they put more time and more effort. And the goodness of a movie is definitely correlated with your effort you put in it.
That's
And
interesting. So they don't rely on their already existing fans to come back for a second
Exactly.
movie. They just produce just as good a movie. I like that.
it's about making a good movie, not adding to the franchise,
Exactly.
which is a good point, and I think everyone should do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Star Wars is a great example.
It is. And that's the fifth movie or second movie, however you want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Second movie
You
made.
can call it number 5.
Number 5, episode 5. It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm. And 6. I like 4, 5, and 6.
They're all good movies. I love Star Wars.
Yeah, me too.
Star Wars is great. So when Big Daddy was dying,
Yeah.
his death scene reminded me so much of Darth Vader.
In the fire.
Yeah, his death scene. Because
he was
he
a bit
takes
more...
off the mask.
He was more intact, but I see where you're coming from.
He takes off the mask. He's talking all low. His face is burned.
Oh, yeah.
Just the parallels there. Father talking to, instead of a son, a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And
All we needed was for him to pull out his gun and shoot the last guy or something. Some sort of ending sacrifice.
you think he should have had something more?
No, I think it was good, but to really mimic Darth Vader's death,
Right.
he needs that last sacrifice.
Right, sacrificing himself.
Mm-hmm.
So It was more just the scene when he's in the ship, I guess, not the sacrifice part. So we were talking about favorite characters earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your least favorite character?
In the whole movie.
Yeah.
So my least favorite character or characters were the three guys.
Dave.
Kick-Ass Dave.
Yeah.
And the other two guys.
And
I'm
the other
not
two
sure
guys.
what
Whatever
name
their
was.
name was. Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't know their names.
That's the point I'm trying to make. They should have gone a little bit more in-depth with him and his friend group. Maybe what they like to do outside of school.
You don't really see why he's friends with them.
The only reason we saw them in the movie was to really solidify the fact they don't get girls. Like, show
That's
how
true.
awkward they are. I think they should have showed, I don't know, them just hanging out more.
Well, whenever they were hanging out, they just showed them being mean to Kick-Ass Dave.
Pretty much.
Which-
Or them getting jumped. That one
Yeah.
time. Those were all the scenes.
So I don't know why he's friends with them.
Well, I
They
think
have similar interests, maybe, but they're just pretty mean to him. I mean, he grabs a food board and he just smacks him with it after he gets back.
I think it's friendly bullying, if you can call it that.
Friendly bullying? Okay.
I think they're friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're friends. So what about you? Who's your least favorite character or characters?
Red Mist, definitely. He
Yeah.
was not developed. He started out as this kid who wanted to, please his dad, snot-nosed kid. And that's who he ended up being. Ended out the same way. Started, ended the same. He didn't develop at all. He was just boring.
Yeah,
He-
I agree.
He wanted to prove to his dad what he could do, but he never really did that. I mean, what?
There were a few scenes where his dad was like, yep, he's his father's son, sort of proud.
Yeah.
After the first encounter with Kick-Ass,
Yeah.
his first Red Mist mission, I think that was successful. His dad was proud, but other than that, you're exactly right.
I didn't like his character. He wasn't fun. I don't think he had many jokes.
Do you think he was poorly acted or poorly scripted?
I think that a lot of people oftentimes acclaim bad characters to the actors, but even if you get the best actor in the world and give them a trash line to say, they're not gonna deliver,
I see what you're saying.
and
Yeah,
there's nothing you can do. So I think it's the writers,
yeah, that's too bad.
and that
I
might
agree
be
with
why
you.
the second movie isn't good, because he's more important in that one.
And the same writers.
Yeah, and so
Makes sense.
he might take the movie down a notch.
Yeah.
I thought that Red Mist would change his mind instead of helping his dad and become a good guy.
I was on the fence there too, especially when they were driving to his potential death. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, or the first time too, when they're listening to music and he looks over and you can see the glint in his eye.
Yeah,
He just
exactly.
gives him a look. I was like, all right, maybe he's going to save the day.
But he didn't, and he actually goes and does more worse things. And he's just so naive to think that he's not going to kill Kick-Ass, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
Which is just, I mean, come on, he's gonna die.
But it just shows how little power he has. Like, no matter how hard he begged, his dad would not change his mind.
Yeah, he's just begging to his rich dad,
Mm-hmm.
who wasn't gonna hear him out. So, there is some determination in Kick-Ass's character after getting stabbed and hit by a bus.
After dying and coming back to life.
He keeps going, and he keeps doing it. And most people would just stop there.
I think the movie either should have elaborated a bit more on why he went back, or we're just left to assume it's stupidity, and he's missing some sort of part that's telling him to keep himself safe.
I don't think it's stupidity. I think he liked the confidence that he was given with wearing the costume.
That's a good point, I guess.
He liked it. It was his favorite thing,
His
wearing
first
the
time
costume.
standing up to people
Exactly.
in the costume.
And he wanted to continue that.
Yeah.
It was a quick turnaround from being in the hospital and boom, he's back in class the next day. It seemed like.
Like I said, that's a bit unrealistic.
Yeah. But
yeah, he's a trooper, I guess.
he's just going. He's committed.
Mm-hmm.
He's just doing it. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, go check out our channel.